Hi, my name is Sara Gillis, and this is my submission for Seed 741's final project assignment on My Ideal High School. Please join me as I describe in detail what I view as the innovations that are necessary to improve high school for today's student body. This comic effectively illustrates what today's classroom looks like without innovation. Today's learner faces a number of challenges in the classroom, the most pervasive of which is described by authors Cheryl Nussbaum Beach and Lainey Ritter Hall in their 2012 book The Connected Educator, as a sense of disconnect from life outside the walls of the classroom. While today's learners are voracious consumers of technology in many forms, including social media, cell phones, and blogs, devices such as cellular phones and laptop computers are often forbidden in today's classroom. As one student remarks, "Every time I go to school, I have to power down." To remedy this disconnect, Nussbaum Beach and Ritter Hall argue in their book that many educators today have not yet adapted to the 21st century learners' need to incorporate inside the classroom such technological advances as these. By learning to become what they term a connected educator, teachers can work smarter, not harder, to appeal to and to engage the 21st century's technologically savvy learner. Connected educators are the ideal faculty for my dream high school, as I see endless benefits to improving the level of connectivity in the classroom. My ideal high school includes three main innovations that I view as necessary in altering what today's high school looks like. First, I desire to improve the construction of the high school itself by being more intentional in building new facilities that augment the learning process. Secondly, my ideal high school features a core curriculum that not only parallels collegiate-level general education plans, but also promotes the specialization of students in diverse areas that lend themselves to distinctive career paths. Finally, my ideal high school utilizes differentiated instruction and assessment as the overarching instructional design for the school as a whole. This methodology, combined with the pervasive presence of technology integration in the classroom, will help to engage today's student and promote not simply regurgitation of information or passive learning, but subject mastery and knowledge acquisition. One of the most basic innovations that I would implement in my ideal high school would be to be intentional about the school's construction in order to maximize the learning potential of the student body. As the top picture shows, the entire left side of the blueprint of the school is devoted to classrooms, while the right side of the facility primarily consists of gymnasiums, locker rooms, and extracurricular facilities. While the layout of these distinct entities is not important to learning, in my view what is particularly influential is the interstitial space between these two wings. A large indoor atrium and an equally large outdoor courtyard make up the space in between the classroom wing and the gymnasium wing. What's significant about these spaces is not only their purpose, to promote individual and group study both indoors and outdoors, weather permitting, but also their location, equidistant from the classroom wing and the gymnasium wing, thereby offering students equal access, regardless of whether they are seeking a quiet place to study geometry during a free period, or they have a 10-minute break from basketball practice and want to run through a set of vocabulary flashcards with a teammate. The two lower pictures emphasize the notion of collaboration, a notion of working together that Nussbaum Beach and Ritter Hall, the authors of The Connected Educator, emphasize in their book. My ideal high school is constructed to offer large, open spaces, such as the indoor atrium and the outdoor courtyard, that promote collaboration amongst students. It is my view that a school's construction can either encourage or inhibit collaboration, and by being intentional with the design of a school, educators and administrators can work to maximize the learning potential of the student body. The notion of a homogeneous classroom is largely undisputed. As Carol Ann Tomlinson articulates, no two students consistently learn at the same pace, with the same support, and in the same modes. Thus, because students learn in distinctly different manners and modes and at varied paces, a teacher is forced to identify the most suitable way in which to educate such diversity in learning in the classroom. This is precisely why the instructional design that my ideal high school utilizes as its founding methodology is differentiated instruction. According to Tomlinson in her 2008 book, the goal of differentiation is to invent a system of education that provides an elite education for virtually every student, a system in which each student is regarded as an individual of worth, provided with the best curriculum and instruction available, and supported in maximizing his or her potential. The overall goal of differentiating the core curriculum in my ideal high school involves working to encourage students to specialize in 2 to 3 main areas, such as engineering, education, business, the arts, or more, while completing general education core curriculum. This plan offers students the opportunity to self-direct and/or self-regulate their learning in order to achieve more individual freedom, autonomy, and responsibility for their personal educational goals and success. At my ideal high school, the core curriculum features an opportunity for students to meet state standards by completing the coursework necessary to earn a high school diploma, while also permitting students to select 2 to 3 discipline areas in which to specialize according to their interests. This core curriculum design mirrors a collegiate level curriculum design, which typically consists of a general education core and a student's major. Students who complete the core curriculum coursework will earn a high school diploma. High-achieving students can also elect to earn an honors diploma by taking more advanced coursework. The core curriculum at my ideal high school is differentiated in that it provides students with multiple pathways to graduation. The general core curriculum for a high school diploma counts approximately 74 credits, while the graduate core curriculum for the honors diploma counts to about approximately 89 credits. The following slides articulate my conception of the ideal high school's core curriculum and graduation requirements. As noted throughout by asterisks, if a student so desires, he or she can take on additional and often more advanced coursework in order to earn an honors diploma. For instance, if a student takes and passes both multicultural literature and multicultural film, he or she would qualify to receive an honors diploma in that area. However, a student must enroll in and satisfactorily pass all additional coursework across all areas in order to earn an honors diploma. While my conception of core curriculum and graduation requirements at the secondary level may not appear drastically different from today's high schools around the United States, upon closer inspection, encouraging students to pursue higher level courses and providing them with an incentive to do so, such as an honors diploma, not only promotes self-directed learning, but also encourages students to engage in the type of rigorous coursework that they will need to grapple with upon entering a collegiate level classroom. The final areas of my core curriculum and graduation requirements are not groundbreaking, but the mechanics and/or execution of these requirements, particularly in the areas of foreign language and business and personal finance, are rather innovative. My foreign language curriculum is 90% student-directed and student-regulated, with approximately 10% supplementary advising and guidance from a foreign language educator. The curriculum for my school's foreign language program comes from the Rosetta Stone foreign language software, a mode of instructional delivery that I read about in Will Richardson's 2012 article entitled Preparing Students to Learn Without Us. In his article, Richardson describes the teaching methodology of the foreign language department at an Atlanta high school. At the Trinity High School outside Atlanta, Georgia, students choose to study one of 23 world languages offered in Rosetta Stone's online classroom. Each student can work through the curriculum at his or her own pace under the guidance of a world languages instructor at the school who may not know the language but who is an expert in facilitating language learning, goal setting, and personalized practice offline. According to teacher Megan Howard, the personalized nature of the program requires teachers to meet each child where he or she is and differentiate support and curriculum on the basis of language and learning style rather than grouping or whole class. That's a necessary shift in the role of a teacher. Furthermore, in the area of business and personal finance, I have included a 5-credit, 1-week workshop seminar on personal finance and financial responsibility. Because financial literacy is important to personal success in many areas of life, including business, and because the primary goal of a school is to educate students and provide them with skills necessary for being an active participant in a diverse world, I feel that a seminar on personal finance can only help students to be more prepared to enter the workforce, a collegiate environment, or another walk of life following high school graduation. My ideal high school's core curriculum also mirrors a collegiate level environment in that students must not only satisfy general education requirements, but they also must engage in specialization in order to graduate. Early exposure to specialized self-directed education can be important to student learning, development, and preparation for a collegiate environment and/or a career field. For instance, in a 2007 article entitled Careers Come Into Focus, author Michelle McNeil describes a movement towards specialized educational curriculum at high schools in Florida. Schools in Florida offer students a choice of 442 majors or areas of career interest. Starting in the 2007-2008 school year, 9th graders will pick a major and take 4 electives in that area, although they can change their minds as their high school studies proceed. The majors range from culinary arts to entrepreneurship, though not all schools will offer all majors depending on course schedules. And while state officials acknowledge that the list from which to pick may seem dauntingly long, they say it gives high schoolers a broad playing field for experimentation. We don't see this as pigeonholing, says Sherry Pearson-Yecke, the chancellor of the state's K-12 schools. We have the responsibility to prevent kids from wandering aimlessly through 13 years of school. This is precisely my view. Another innovation that my ideal high school features is the utilization of a modular scheduling format. In his 1971 article, Individualization in a Modular Schedule, author Arnold J. Moore had this to say about modular scheduling. In the face of growing dissatisfaction with traditional school practices and an increasing demand for total individualization of instructional objectives, activities, and evaluations to meet the personal needs, interests, and abilities of each student, a radical departure from past modes of education is necessary. The modular or flexible schedule can be a first significant step toward achieving such individualization. Modular scheduling is itself only a tool, and as such, it is only as potent as its user. Properly implemented, however, it demands a radically new style of education which gives promise of producing qualitatively different outcomes for each individual. My take on modular scheduling is taken from Westside High School's modular scheduling plan. There, a student's schedule includes large groups, small groups, laboratories, and independent study time, which are distributed through 14 mods per day. 6 of these mods, the first 3 and the final 3, are 40 minutes in length, with the other 8 mods 4 through 11, lasting approximately 20 minutes. Large group scheduling. The primary purposes of large group are to gain student and teacher time and to use resources, human and material, that are not normally available for long periods of time. Also, it is here that teachers often present introductory ideas and pose questions, which motivate students to prepare for small group discussion. Sometimes, large groups are used for testing. Small groups, in comparison, are made up of 12 to 18 students. The purpose of the small group is to provide an opportunity for students to develop communication skills, analytical powers, and judgment. Small group discussions are an important aspect of most courses. To learn by doing very concisely sums up the purpose of the laboratory mode. In some courses, this will mean practice sessions and skill development. In other areas, this will mean the opportunity to test ideas, to explore, to investigate, and to complete projects. Finally, all students have a certain amount of time each day when they are not scheduled into classes. This time is called independent study time. During independent study time, students make decisions about how best to use their time to meet their responsibilities. They may work on class assignments or on materials of personal interest. Most students meet regularly with teachers during independent study time for help in a subject or clarification of assignments. This time may also be used for conferences with counselors and advisors. I've taken this information from the website from Westside High School, which is based out of Omaha, Nebraska, and that school has utilized a modular schedule since 1967. This is a sample student schedule in my ideal high school, which operates under a modular schedule of 14 mods, like Westside High School in Omaha. The student is enrolled in the following courses as part of the core curriculum: sociology, English, algebra, biology, U.S. history, speech, multicultural film, and wellness. The student is also enrolled in elective courses, which correlate to areas of specialization. These courses include Education 1 and 2, Graphic Design, and Business Marketing. As you'll see throughout this sample schedule, the student will spend time in large group, small group, laboratory, and independent study time environments. This is a sample teacher schedule in my ideal high school, which again operates under a modular schedule of 14 mods. The teacher is responsible for teaching the following courses: 2 sections of English, 2 sections of American literature, 2 sections of British literature, and 1 section of multicultural film. The 1 section of multicultural film meets for 3 mods in a row 1 time per week to allow for the viewing of films. As you'll see throughout this sample schedule, the teacher facilitates time in large group, small group, and laboratory environments. The teacher also has time set aside for planning purposes and for student conferences and guidance. Early in his discussion of methodology that is designed to assess instructional methods and student learning, W. James Popham points in his 2009 book to the potential of individual one-on-one meetings between teacher and student. While Popham indicates that individual conferences can be quite time-consuming, he nonetheless finds face time with each individual student to be a worthy endeavor, precisely because solo interviews are a terrific way to gain insight into students' status relative to the mastery of a target curricular aim and its building block sub-skills and enabling knowledge. A modular scheduled environment will function to alleviate the need to conduct individual meetings during class time, thus maximizing time for teacher and student. While Tomlinson acknowledges in her 2008 book that the demands are high for a teacher who is committed to differentiating instruction in the classroom, the choice to do so is remarkably clear, not only to Tomlinson, but also to me as the prospective designer of an ideal high school. Thus, my dream school mandates differentiation in the classroom. My conception of differentiated instruction at my ideal high school is as follows. Inside the classroom, teachers are required to differentiate their instruction for students by innovating or determining multiple, such as 3, modes for students to complete or meet goals or standards. One way to enact differentiated instruction is to diversify 3 distinctive pathways to completing or meeting the standards within a given area of the general education core. Put more simply, an instructor can design with the aid of colleagues and/or the students themselves 3 unit plans with various texts, assignments, and opportunities for assessment from which students can choose. Students will then work together with the instructor and with each other in small groups with other students who have selected the same pathway or unit plan. This is a sample assignment to be utilized in an English classroom as part of a unit on poetry. This assignment presents students with a variety of options to complete the task at hand, learning in depth about one influential poet, while simultaneously demanding and fostering an accumulation of knowledge for all students. The assignment reads, you, along with 2 of your classmates, will be responsible for reading one collection of poetry written by one major poet. Your choices of poets are listed below. You will present your findings and what you've learned about this poet in class before spring break. The assignment sheet follows with possible poet choices. At the bottom, your group presentation should include biographical information about the poet. Also answer, why is this poet significant? Support your answer with research or evidence. A historical context in which to place the poetry. What was going on in history when this poet was publishing his or her work? Read aloud and analyze one poem as a group. Please note, the medium of your presentation is up to you and your group members. Options include a group in-class presentation or performance, an essay, a video, a podcast, a blog, an open source learning module, etc. Be creative. Differentiation also occurs at the course level. And in terms of in the classroom, students will work together with their advisors and with their teachers in order to differentiate at the instructional level and at the assessment level. A differentiated approach to assessment allows students to select from a variety of options, all of which are aimed at assessing learning outcomes. This approach thus encourages student creativity while simultaneously appealing to a school's and a teacher's need for assessment and grading. In terms of differentiated assessment, in the sample poetry unit plan included in this presentation, students are able to select the medium of their group presentation according to their skills, their interests, and their strengths, thereby maximizing their ability to demonstrate mastery of the subject at hand. Since they will be assessed on their presentation, that is how differentiated assessment comes into play. Differentiation also occurs in my ideal high school in the form of scaffolding student learning and development by incrementally increasing the intensity of courses. Course intensity. Together with their advisors, students are able to select the intensity of their courses. All courses will operate at level 4 for the first semester, and at the end of the first semester, students have the option to remain at level 4 or to accelerate to level 5 courses. Students can also elect to decrease the intensity of their courses by moving to a level 3 classroom at semester time. While Westside High School in Omaha boasts 5 distinctive levels of courses, my ideal high school would, at least in the early years, focus only upon 3 levels of course intensity. Thus, level 4 would be the intermediate level of courses. Westside High School describes this level of coursework as follows. Skills build at a normal pace and/or homework expectations are similar to most courses at school. There is some balance between skill building and practicing the learned skill as the course progresses. Some previously learned skills are practiced during class time. Comparatively, level 5 courses would be more intense in terms of skill building and homework expectations, whereas level 3 classrooms would be considerably moderately intense. My school also includes a technology mandate. What this means is, for each assignment, all courses must include in their list of assessment options at least 2 choices that depend upon technology, such as a podcast, a video, a blog, or more. Additionally, students must select a technologically geared assessment option in each course at least 2 times per year. For instance, if an English course is divided into 4 main units with 8 assessment periods, a student must select a technologically geared assessment option 2 out of 8 times. This concludes my presentation on my ideal high school. I've included a list of references that have aided my research. Thank you for joining me.